Oh, yes.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to take a look at War for Cybertron Siege number 39, which is Voyager class Thundercracker. Thundercracker is a slight retooling of Starscream, and though he is the source of that retooling, his Reed Echo Red Wing was actually released before he was widely available here in the States, so a little backwards. So if you're new to the channel, what we do is we take a look at the figure's packaging, open everything up, look at the instructions, look at the toy itself, starting in its alternate mode and then working our way up from there, doing comparisons and group shots where necessary, and then at the very end I'll give my final thoughts. So Thundercracker's packaging is standard fare for a Siege Voyager. Tall box with a little kind of cutout corner there. Got Thundercracker front and center here. Usual logos and branding, name, serial number 39. There's this nice artwork of him just kind of flying around ready to shoot somebody. Interestingly, he's wielding one of his null rays like a handheld gun, so it's a little different. He looks really mad, which is a big contrast to his smirking face right there. Top's nothing special. On the side we have just your Siege artwork. On the back we have renders of Thundercracker in his two modes, some compatibility and cross cells here, and legal info. All right, so we got Thundercracker with his smirky little face there, right on the front. Go ahead, open it up. Pretty simple, just transformation to his Tetra Jet Mode. Back's got your usual cross cells, compatibility, call out. And then he has the HPI Null Ray Laser Launcher. So, yeah, same old secret weapon. All right, and here is the aforementioned Tetra Jet Mode. Nothing new to see here as far as molding. I do like the way his colors kind of pop against each other. You have this very dark black, and a nice vibrant blue and a bright red here. Decepticon symbols on either side. His chest blends in to this mode a little bit better than Starscream's does. For anyone that doesn't know, all of the Seekers have the same exact battle damage paint layout. So they're going to appear, almost exactly the same. So Thundercracker's no exception there. He's got the same paint mask for that stuff. In fact, here are the other two Seekers that have been released up to that point. You got Starscream and Red Wing. And if you look at them, especially here on the nose cone section, you can see they do indeed have the same exact paint apps when it comes to the battle damage. Now, out of the three so far, I think I like Thundercracker's the most, just because his looks like actual damage. It looks like his paint has been chipped away by battle, whereas the other two look more dirty or oily than anything. So personally, I think he just kind of pulls it off a little bit better. All right, we're going to switch into robot mode. I'm not going to show the transformation in this video, just to keep it briefer, and it's the same transformation that you see in the other two, so I will just link to them if you want to watch and see how that goes. All right, and here is Thundercracker's robot mode. It's got the same body type as all the other Seekers. It does have his own unique color layout, though. Try to keep it very accurate to his toy character model. Got a lot going on in the back, boosters. He's got his null rays attached in their nominal position, but they can be put pretty much anywhere. They can go with his legs, wings, be wielded in his hands if you want to. You can see he's got the retooled face with the sly little smirk there. And I know there's some confusion amongst the fan base as far as why use that face for Thundercracker and give Starscream a very serious, almost stoic face. And to some extent, I can agree. You'd expect, with Starscream being the schemer type, he might have that devious little smirk, whereas Thundercracker, who's generally a more one-dimensional, angry, bad guy, might have the more serious face. I couldn't tell you why they went with that. I could guess that maybe it was influenced by Thundercracker's IDW comic appearance, where toward the end he became a more affable character, kind of goofy. Learned to, pursue a passion rather than just be a warrior. I don't know. That's just my guess. This new take on Thundercracker is interesting in that he's done in a much lighter blue than most Thundercracker toys are. Most of the toys opt for a darker shade, which is more accurate to his original toy, whereas this lighter blue puts him more closely in line with his cartoon counterpart, where they used a much lighter color palette for him. So it does make him kind of unique in that regard. We don't usually get a lot of light blue Thundercrackers in a toy form, so that's kind of cool. One thing that's definitely worth pointing out is that Thundercracker includes the chest fix that we first saw with Red Wing. So you go ahead and tab that there. You can see that it doesn't come loose from this hinge at all. It's attached nice and tightly, unlike Starscream. So it's good that he does have that fix worked in there, because it is really annoying when you're transforming Starscream to have his chest keep flopping off. Luckily, it doesn't affect him in either mode once he's finalized, because the chest anchors in at certain places. So minor annoyance, but it is good to have it corrected. Wanted to briefly show Thundercracker with some of his other Generations toys, just to highlight that color difference I talked about. See, this is a Combiner Wars Thundercracker, Thrilling 30 over here. And you can see they're both done up in a much darker shade of blue than our new guy. Albeit they're different shades. He's even darker than this guy, but you can see that this was just kind of the general trend for this character, to keep him this very dark blue. And I think personally, it's a good idea to adjust him to this lighter shade. One, because this toy is supposed to be based off of his cartoon appearance from the first episode of the show. But also, I think it makes him stand out in the box more. One big issue I noticed with the big leader class Thundercracker and his mold mate Skywarp is that they tended to shelf warm pretty badly. And I think part of it was they really didn't stand out in the box. I remember back when they were on shelves, you could walk by their box and you'd have to kind of crouch down and squint a little bit just to really see the toy that was inside, because there's so much black and dark blue or purple. They're kind of drab looking. And, when you're trying to sell a toy, you want it to pop. You want people to be like, oh my God, look at that thing. So I don't know if that was, any part of the reasoning in their decision, but I think this should help alleviate that problem. Make Thundercracker stand out on his own a lot more. Right here, I've got Thundercracker with his two Seeker buddies. And like I pointed out, he does use the same face as Red Wing here. Personally, I think I like Thundercracker the most out of these three. He may not have the color variety that Starscream has, but the colors he does have, I think, just are much more visually appealing. Starscream, he's got his classic colors, but in my opinion, they're a little, drab looking in a way. I don't know if that makes sense, but I just think Thundercracker looks great as a cartoon accurate version of himself. Red Wing, I love just for the sheer, obscurity value and all that, but outside of that context, I think his colors just make him kind of splotchy and ugly. So if I had to pick one, I think I would definitely choose Thundercracker over any of them. I think he's just really gorgeous to look at. I love his little smile, even if it doesn't fit his G1 cartoon persona. I think he's got the best paint color on his face compared to these two. Starscream's a little dark and murky, and his is just this white that kind of blurs some of the details on his face. His little smirk doesn't look as sharp as TC's over here. So if you had to go with one of these, I would definitely pick Thundercracker. But that's just how I feel. Maybe you disagree with me. I'd love to hear your, comments, criticisms down below. If you like this review, go ahead and toss it a thumbs up. If you want to see more reviews like it or any of my other Transformers videos, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you always get a heads up when I post something new. I thank you for taking a look at Thundercracker with me today, and with all that said, I will see you next time.